What's going on, Netrunner fans? It's Shamar here again, covering the Toronto Regionals 2015 out of Vaughan, Ontario at Legends Warehouse. Again, this was a tournament with 34 players with a cut to top 8. We are now at round 2, game 1, featuring 2 players who eventually went on to play in the top 8. On the left, we are going to have Mikhail playing Valencia, and on the right, Matt playing Replicating Perfection. Now, right off the top, this is a very huge matchup for the Toronto meta. For those of you who know Dean from Toronto, he has been playing this Valencia deck and has pretty much proclaimed it as the RP killer. And so this is one of the feature matchups of the tournament that everybody wanted to see this Valencia versus RP in action. So right off the bat, we have Matt keeping his hand and about to throw down. Goes for the early celebrity gifts, showing 5 cards: Lotus Field, Intern, Sundew, DBS, and another celebrity gift. So that was his first 2 clicks, and his third click, as he takes a second to decide, is to ice over R&D, flipping the turn over to Mikhail. So first to draw, and he draws straight into a sure gamble. Second click is to play that sure gamble, and third, he's running at R&D, forcing that ice to get res, and it is the Lotus Field. And obviously he's forced to bounce. Taking a second to decide here for his last click. And so his last click is just to take a manual credit. Flipping the turn back over to RP. Click 1 to draw. Gotta assume it might be a celebrity gifts here. Nope, double install, creating 2 new remotes, and immediately ending his turn, rezzing Sundew as the turn passes back to Mikhail. So he's going to break even there, because obviously playing RP means that Mikhail can't make his first action run on Sundew. Has to be a run at a central first, so he doesn't have to pay for that Sundew essentially. So Mikhail goes with a HQ run, seeing that celebrity gifts that we saw earlier. Finally runs a Sundew, uses a bad pub and $1 to get rid of Sundew, uses a bad pub and $2 to get rid of DBS. Man, Valencia is strong. That $1 comes in handy. Or 1 bad pub, I should say. Well, $1 from bad pub, technically. So again, that's 1 click to install ice over HQ for Matt. Second click to take a manual draw. And he's taking a second to think here, and takes a manual credit. So Mikhail goes for the I've had worse, which he calls IHW. I like it. Dirty Laundry running at, I assume that was Archives, just to take the money. Three, he runs and hits pup. Again, that bad pub's going to come in handy, and he pays 1 of his own credits to get through. Seeing the celebrity gifts yet again. That's the 3rd time now. And lastly, installs a clone chip to end his turn. So there's another celebrity gifts. Jackson, Caprice, Interns, and I missed that last card there. So another net gain of 7, bringing his total to 14 credits. Installs a remote for his last click, because celebrity gifts is a double. So Mikhail installs Data Sucker. Takes money and runs. Oh, no, installs Parasite on the pup, getting rid of it, running HQ. And is he going for dice rolls here, or? Nope. Sees Jackson, bad pub, and $2 is one dead Jackson. And there's the second Jackson that we saw. Uses Jackson to draw 2 cards for his first click. Second click, install over HQ again. Got to get that central protection up if you're playing RP, sorry. And draws a card with Jackson, so 2 cards. Choosing what to discard here, I believe. And his hand size is back down to 5. Giving the turn back over to Valencia, who runs Archives, forcing the early Jackson. So again, for you new players, because this is a pack that is out of print, I assume you know what it does already, but Jackson Howard allows you to take 3 cards out of Archives. If they're face down, they remain face down, so the runner doesn't see them. If they're face up, you have to show the runner which 3 cards you're putting back in. You reshuffle your deck, your R&D, and Jackson is removed from the game. So that's one of his Jacksons down, and we know that there is still 1 remaining in Archives. So he opted not to take the trash Jackson back. So Matt finally drops a nice over Archives. And goes to look at the runner's Archives. Or I guess, what is it? What do we call that? Heap. Heap for the runner. Draws and installs for his last 2 clicks, creating a new remote server. Some manual draws here out of Anarch, which is typical. Anarch doesn't really have any draw solutions other than that wild side there, installed for $3. So now Mikhail's going to lose a click, but he's going to be drawing cards a lot sooner. And I think doing that, he hopes to find his adjusted chronotype, aka pancakes. Double ice over that newly created remote from last turn, installs an unknown card in that remote and takes a credit. So Mikhail's gonna have to lose a click here for his wild side draw. You can tell he's a very relaxed player, takes the time to look over the board multiple times before he takes his actions. So he's going to play that pancakes that I assume he just drew off the wild side. It doesn't give him his click back this turn, so he's going to have to wait till next turn before he can start to benefit from that. So it's back to RP now. At this point, he's got to feel pretty comfortable. I mean, Mikhail only has 1 credit. 2 if you include Bad Pub. So he installs, advances, and installs another piece of ice in that remote. Interesting call. He has 11 credits. So free wild side draw. And so now this is when Valencia starts to get scary. Able to see all those resources, able to draw into those blackmails pretty easily. Mikhail takes a manual credit. Goes for the HQ run. And there's no res on the HQ. That's the third data sucker token. Sees Jackson Howard and decides not to get rid of it this time. That would bankrupt him. So he blackmails the remote server. And there's the Caprice. Everybody's favorite side game. So he has 2 credits to spend and his bad pub. Here's when it gets interesting. So the run is ended as Matt bet 2, Mikhail bet 0. So that's double advance in score of the Nisei. Again, if you remember from round 1 when Maria scored her Nisei, that token just allows the Jinteki player to end the run whenever they choose. One time. It's a one-shot deal. Takes 3 credits and installs the daily casts. I missed that first daily cast getting put into his heap. I'm surprised that he would drop that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry to keep doing this to you, man. That's fine.
And also has to drop a knight.
Sorry, Mathew. Don't worry about it.
And so Matt decides to take 3 clicks for 3 credits, bring his total up to 7 to Mikhail's 5 in bad pub. This is usually around where I start to get confused with RP. I'm being a noise player. I don't really have many run options. And so it starts to get kind of tricky. At this point, you just want him to force RP to start spending money. Because he is low, he doesn't have his sundews out. So you want to keep him low before he starts drawing into that drip econ. So if I'm not mistaken, this is a run on HQ. Chooses not to res because he is low on money and takes the chance. And there's that interns again, but another data sucker token, which is fantastic because he does have that clone chip out. We know he has Parasite in his heap, so that's pretty much an instant kill of a lot of Jinteki ice, save for Lotus Field, which can't be lowered. So he runs HQ again. Still no res. And sees that Jackson Howard again. This time he trashes it because he does have the money. He does have daily cast on the table, so he knows he can get that 2 credits back. I mean, I honestly feel like Valencia is better than Wizard, because that one bad pub is recurring every run that you make. And it can be used for any number of things, whereas Wizard's 3 credits are only for trashing. So this is a blackmail run, and I assume he's going at that Nisei, trying to get it out of the server. And the 0-0 bet, trashing the Nisei with the bad pub. And it kind of had to be 0 there for Matt. He didn't want to go sub 5. Hoping to draw into a hedge fund on his mandatory draw, I'm assuming. And he's already played his 2 celebrity gifts, so he's getting pretty limited on econ. 2 celebrity gifts, 1 sundew. So there's the install out of the scoring remote. Gonna go ahead and call that some sort of drip econ and takes the credit. So I believe it was draw, install, credit. Initiates another run on HQ, no res. Interns yet again. Man, these accesses must be frustrating. But again, he remains calm, checks the board, checks his options.
Play an iPad worse.
Plays another I've had worse to draw 3 cards. So it's 5 cards drawn this turn, including Wildside. He's digging for something.
Pick the third. And pick the fourth. Pitching a slew of cards.
So there is the
Discarding
medical,
Wildside, a Yogg point
medical
of-
something. I don't know why I can't remember the name right now.
David.
Basically, it's 0 res and gives him a credit, just like Pan Campaign would. But it also increases Mikhail's hand size by 1.
All done? Yep. Gaining 2. Prototype outside. Pick 1. Install this product. Pick 2. Run your hand.
Runs at HQ again.
Okay.
And is booted out.
Pick 3. Put a parasite on that.
Installs Parasite. I also missed the Desperado install, my bad.
Cash it for 1.
Yes, because desperate.
Correct. Go ahead.
Mandatory.
1 sure game. 2. Which perfect.
I was busy trying to think of the name of the damn card. It's Mental Health Clinic. Sorry about that. This is why I need a production team.
No, sci-fi. I can't go
or a partner on the broadcast. That would be fantastic. So catching back up here, we've got Mikhail at 2 credits and Bad Pub. And Replicating Perfection down to 2. Clicks for 3.
No, I'm going to discard this. Wait. That's it, deal. I'm going to discard this.
Okay.
And is forced to drop some cards. So Parasite goes up by 1.
Prototype outside. Pick 1. Run archives.
Still has a ways to go with that firewall. Runs at Archives.
She can go back if she likes.
Kind of hard to tell what that is. I think that's Rainbow up there. So 4 strength.
Gain it out. Click 2.
That would have been really embarrassing.
Click 2.
Maybe.
The pace of this game has slowed down tremendously. Still have only the 1 agenda scored, the Nisei on RP side.
Blackmail for the server.
So there's another blackmail initiated, running at that remote, keeping everything face down, into another Nisei. So we got the side games going again. And that's got to be rough, man. You put all that ice down, spend the money putting it down, and don't even get an opportunity to res it because of blackmail. So RP wins betting 1.
How many do you have in hand there? One?
Two in
Two.
One bad pop and one real credit.
Just checking so that I know how you've been playing. You know what I mean?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pick 3.
And takes some manual credit. And goes for the corroder
Okay.
to get through that rainbow and to get through that firewall. He's playing this very, very well. Against RP, you got to get in and get rid of that economy as early and as often as possible. And Mikhail has done that. He hasn't let Matt keep any of his econ cards out. And it's pretty obvious here. So RP's at 4 credits. You don't typically see that. And installs what I assume is another econ card, doing anything he can to get something going here.
Click 1 on your head.
Although he is in the lead,
Boost.
so there's something to be said about that. Another run on HQ
This one.
through that firewall, getting credit for Desperado and hitting the Hades shard for 3 points, quickly taking the lead. So that's a credit that he gains, that's an agenda scored, and that's a data sucker token.
Oh, gain a credit, yeah.
Takes a manual credit
Do the same. Boost break. gain
and
credit.
initiates another run on HQ, spends those, gains another data sucker token,
This one.
and sees interns again for, I believe, what would be the 3rd time, if you include the celebrity gifts. And so now he has enough data sucker tokens to get rid of that firewall should he choose to, but he opts to go for Katie Jones instead and tap Katie.
It will be a wild side.
When your turn begins,
So now Valencia's starting to
is
roll a
that
little bit.
before or after I draw a card? Can I draw a card?
No. Your turn has officially begun as soon as you're done.
As soon as I draw a card, so I have to do everything. So I'll just res this.
Yeah.
I'll res. Can I see these?
By all means.
I'll res this for 1.
Excalibur. Yeah.
So the turn flips back
Then I manage.
to RP, who reses the executive boot camp to start getting some ice res. When his turn begins, he's able to res any card that he wants at a reduced cost of 1. So that is a pretty good counter to Valencia's blackmail recursion. So he installs a card, takes 2 credits,
quick one,
and passes the turn back to Mikhail.
Oh. Make a credit.
Makes the HQ run, still doesn't decide to get rid of the firewall.
Trash it.
Hits Nisei and spends the bad pump to get rid of it. Don't think he took his credit for Desperado, I can't tell.
Quick 2. Gain a credit. Quick 2. Run your boot camp. Sure. Pay 3.
Runs the executive boot camp and trashes it. Trash cost of 3.
Quick 3. Quick Katie.
And taps Katie Jones again.
4.
And so, like I said, Mikhail's just making sure that whatever Matt puts down gets dealt with as soon as possible. You don't want to let that boot camp sit there too long and get that scoring server's protections up.
Gain a credit.
Right now, it's currently just sitting behind an Excalibur.
Pitching 2. That'll be a David and a Scrub.
Mandatory.
What do you do?
Quick one, I'll do it.
Yep.
So another mental health clinic is up.
Click 2.
But with the Parasite having so many tokens on it and the Data Sucker having so many tokens on it, it's pretty much a free run at HQ and then a free run at the health clinic.
Install.
Sure.
Click 3, draw.
Yep.
So he throws down another asset and draws a card.
Chronotype for wild
And
side.
turn back to Mikhail for the wild side draw.
I don't do that.
Parasite is now up to 4, just needs one more
One.
token
Run your hand.
to get rid of that firewall once and for all.
Gain a credit.
So there's another HQ run, getting him a credit off Desperado.
Yep.
He sees Celebrity Gifts. Remembers his Data Sucker token. I was just about to mention that.
Click 2, run your hand.
Makes another run at HQ.
Trash it.
Sees Nisei again. That's rough. And trashes that. It's like being a noise player or playing against a noise and having him see every single one of your Jacksons.
Pay 1. Click 4, we'll put some money on that.
Runs the health clinic, gets rid of that too,
Discarding a card.
and taps Katie Jones. So it appears that Mikhail's broke, but you got to remember that he has Katie Jones out on the table, and she has been stacking up a lot of money the past couple of turns. So he's not too worried about economy at this point. He's getting money off of Desperado. Firewall is gone next turn. There it goes.
Hey, Grinder. Sorry about this.
Not a problem. Chronotype
So
wild
the
side.
Virus Counter Purge resets Parasite back to 1. The Purge taking all 3 of Matt's clicks,
Take money off that.
clearing the Data Sucker, which is huge.
Big happening?
I just want to get
Mikhail
him.
elects to take his Katie Jones money,
Click 2.
which looks to be 9 credits, if I'm not mistaken.
Why not? We'll run your hand. So 4, so 1, 1,
So
1.
that's an HQ run. Bad Pub and 2 credits, but gets 1 back for Desperado immediately. Gains Data Sucker token.
Credits.
Hits another Celebrity Gifts. Got to assume that Matt's going to want to pay that next turn. Runs at the health clinic and gets rid of that.
Oh, discard it.
Mandatory.
Sure.
So Desperado token, Bad Pub.
Get rid of Deja.
Four, pop shard.
Okay, so spend against the gift.
Sure. Show me some stuff.
There's the Celebrity Gifts.
Great.
And there is a 3-pointer in hand.
Static, Mitsubako. Pop. Sure.
Everybody's favorite 3-pointer to steal. And by favorite, I mean the worst 3-pointer to steal in the game.
What way did I play this? It's a tough question.
Worst being the hardest. At least for me anyways. I'm terrible at side games, so I always have issues getting those.
What way do I play this? Set up a fire. I will. Install a card.
Installs into that remote. Behind Excalibur.
2 done, yep.
For those who don't know, Excalibur's subroutine is the runner cannot make another run this turn.
1, I'll play Knights.
So here comes a Knight install and thrown on the Lotus Field.
3, I'll play a medium.
followed up by a medium install.
4 will run your that server over there.
Runs
Okay,
at R&D.
credits, gain 1 credit back.
Breaking with Knight,
C1 card.
C1 card, that's correct. Okay, go ahead.
Data Sucker token, and medium token.
Mandatory.
So now the pressure is on for Matt. Do you start to protect R&D a little bit more? Do you consider using your Nisei token to end one of the medium runs?
I guess it's installing as well.
So he opts to ice over R&D
Yep, okay. Wild Side Chronotype.
to try to slow down that medium pressure. Parasite is back up to 3 tokens. Again, Firewall is a 5 strength barrier.
1 will run your hand. Make your credits.
So he runs straight at that Firewall, back into HQ to collect the tokens. Sees a Himitsu Baku.
2 will run
Himitsu
your
something.
R&D.
It is a barrier, an annoying Jideki barrier. All that was placed over R&D was a pup. So that's going to cost a credit and bad pub to get through the pup subs. And then another 2 credits to break
1-1.
with Knight. Gaining 1 credit back from Desperado. Some tokens, so he's going to see 2 cards off R&D now because of medium.
Beat me for 1. And I'll pay 2 to get through. And I'll make 1 back. Okay?
Or no, did he not continue? No, he didn't continue. So he takes the net damage rather than pay for it. He has more than enough cards.
Yep, next.
Saves some money, sees 2 cards off of R&D,
How many clicks left?
and gains those tokens that we were just talking about. And it is 10 credits
Mathew.
to Mikhail's 7 and Bad Pub.
Gain 8
Runs the Vamp.
thus far, if nothing happens.
So yeah, okay.
You're gonna do it?
Well, what other options do I have? Oh, yeah, actually, yeah, totally. I'm totally gonna do
Oh,
that.
nice. So he uses the Nisei token to end the Vamp run.
Did you pay for
Very smart play.
Oh, it's free. That's free.
Very smart play.
Wait, is it free? Did you spend a blackmail here?
Well,
Blackmail
remember,
here,
uh,
and then 1 credit to get here because it's.
Remember, I get bad publicity every run.
Remember, you don't get $1 and you don't get.
Oh, because he didn't end the run. Yeah, sorry.
So you went. That's fine.
Judge is called.
Last click, we will. Run the circle.
You were making them awfully tempting, Joe.
Man, that Vamp would have caused a lot of trouble. That was a very smart play by Matt. Remember that he had the Nisei token. It's a free end the run for him. And so you might as well use it there because you do not want to go broke. I mean, I'd have to assume that Mikhail was going to take all 7 credits.
Okay, so this one just fires.
Or spend all 7 of his to force Matt to lose 7. So the HQ, sorry, Mikhail to lose 7. So the HQ
Can I do anything
run
about
into the remote server run hits a toll booth. It's a forced 3 credit loss.
pay money?
Uses the Bad Pub as one of those credits lost. Bad Pub is so good, man. So good. Just a free credit to toss around anywhere.
We'll bounce.
Okay.
McDonald's value menu. Use that Bad Pub. Get whatever you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Mandatory. Purge.
Goes for the Purge again, keeping that Parasite in play.
Wild Side Chronotype?